So good evening, everyone, and good evening, Vincent DiSanti. Nice to have you on the channel.
Thanks for having me here. I'm glad we could sit down and have a little chat.
Well, I'm glad we can talk about everyone's favorite subject, Jason Voorhees.
I know, right? He's hot topic news these days. Blumhouse is going after the rights again.
Yes, I was going to ask you about this.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Well, you were just doing it anyway.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you had like a specific way.
No, I was going to bring it up. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I mean, anytime they start talking about Friday the 13th, you have to get excited because it means at least people are trying. So it means that at some point it's got to break loose, right? It's only been 14 years. So we'll see. We'll see when it comes. I mean, we know we're getting the TV show, and if anything, I think if people had seen with like Chucky, just the way that other horror franchises have been diversified, the way that the Predator franchise goes to Amazon last year and just as a streaming thing, there's lots of options for Friday the 13th, and I hope that studios start to see that it doesn't have to go just one way. You can have it on. There's lots of ways to really split up this franchise and get a lot of great content out of it. I think if fan films are a proof of that.
Well, yes, you being the expert on this. So you've done. This is your third. Just your third Jason one, but you did.
Actually, this is my fourth Jason one.
I was going to say 13 Fanboy as well. Or is it?
Well, no, there was also that's an actual film. That's a film film. A lot of people think it's a fan film. It's just set sort of in a meta Scream type world. It's like adjacent to Friday the 13th, where I helped a couple of friends of mine out, James Winery. I split their names up, James Sweet and Carl Winery. They did a project called Jason Rising, which was a lot of fun. And I worked with them on that as a producer. I did Dylan's New Nightmare with Cecil Laird. We did a couple of original productions like Pathosis, Imagine. I've worked on Halloween fan films across the board. It's been a lot of fun. It's like living in an alternate reality of like, hey, we're like the mini studio of horror at the fan film level. Let's just see what we can do at this level with cheap budgets and a lot of ingenuity, and see what we can do for fans. And I think that over the last 6 years since we sort of came onto the map, we've just sort of helped reshape the fan film world a little bit, and it's a pretty cool feeling.
It's very welcome because you've done Happy Halloween for Halloween Kills fan film in 2020. Then The Spirit of Haddonfield. You played the Shape in that one, did you? The 2018 one?
Yeah, in all three. Yeah. That was the fun part, was getting to play Michael and playing a different character after playing Jason. And I actually really fell in love with doing both characters because they're different beasts. And Michael's a lot of fun to play. So I got a really great opportunity to do it 3 times, 3 unique projects, all done by completely different filmmakers with different visions. And I sort of tried to bring a similar Michael through all 3, which was a lot of fun. Except I think 2018, that was definitely a much more brutal approach. The Happy Halloween one, but that was a lot of fun. It was actually a lot of fun to like unleash as Michael, which was really cool. And Cortland, who's the filmmaker there, him and Jimmy Champagne, and Honest to the Odd, Ryan Becker too is another part of that trio, and PG, who's a streamer. Who else was in that? I'm trying to remember the name of everybody, but either way, it was a real collaborative effort. But we were able to really shoot in the boondocks of Michigan, and we set a car on fire in someone's backyard. And Cortland and Ryan, who run Honest to the Odd, have a very low down and dirty, but they get a lot of violence out of what they do for the price that they do, the gore and the effects. So we got a lot of that stuff out of it. So I was really proud of those guys when they put that together.
Nice. Okay, we'll just greet the people.
I think I might have froze.
Oh, is that you or me?
Oh, sorry, I might be frozen. Am I?
He's coming and going.
Yeah, sorry.
That's fine.
It's not the greatest internet here.
Are you in LA or Canada? It's hard to tell with that.
I am in LA. The person that I stay with was from Canada. Let me see. I could try to hop back onto the stream in a moment if I just switch rooms to get closer to the wireless router. Sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's like really laggy. Plus I've been beating my computer up. It's okay at the moment. Oh, okay, we'll try to do this. But anyway,
if it goes, if it drops off.
Yeah, well, let me know. I'll do a little switcheroo and we can just do a
Okay.
little thing. But yeah, long story short, I'm just proud of the guys who made Happy Halloween. They did a great job on it.
So yeah, hang on. We got the chat. So we got someone that's a Jason fan, the real Fifth Beatle from Liverpool. So he likes that. I've got Sean. Good evening, Sean. And there you go. You have a vote of confidence from the
Thank you.
Beatle.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to work for the franchise. I think that that's like a dream come true. This has been a good stepping stone for me. I think, doing the fan film stuff has been more helpful towards that cause than I would have ever imagined, because I would have imagined fan film just got ignored, and that anyone would notice it would be a pipe dream. But also working in town, working in Los Angeles, and knowing the way that sort of the studio system works now. I've been out here for 16, 17 years. So, there's ways that I know how to navigate around and look for jobs that I didn't when I first moved here. And as Friday the 13th projects come up, I may not get them, but at least I may be mentioned, which is kind of cool. So, I mean, if I get that opportunity, I'd love it. And I got a lot of great ideas that I would love to keep going with. So we'll see.
Okay, well, go to the chat and we'll do the promotion because that's what we're here to talk about. So yeah, we'll find out in a minute. This is not a, I don't know. Is it a spin-off? Does it count as a spin-off, or it's a sequel?
A fan film? Yeah, I mean, this is sort of a retcon of the Paramount era, of just really picking up where Paramount left off. Not paying too much attention to 7 or 8, but they did happen in our world. We kind of allude to them. But it's just a story about where Jason would be in modern times if, this sort of came back from Manhattan and they didn't storm the camp and blow him up with the FBI, but he just found a way to recede into the camp and stay hidden. And he's been this ghost living in the camp with haunting Tommy, haunting the town. People go missing. And it's this town that's had to deal with it after all this time. And with Never Hike Alone 1, the idea is that for the longest time, people have been going into the forest and not coming out. That if they went to that part of the forest, if they messed around in the camp, they just didn't come out. They would step into the wrong door, they'd run into the wrong thing, they'd cross the wrong path, and Jason would have to take them out. And that's really what Never Hike in the Snow is about. And Never Hike Alone is about the first time in 20 years that someone manages to escape and undo everything that Jason has done to stay hidden over the last 2 decades. And put him on a direct path with Tommy, and a direct path with Rick, and a direct path with the people of Crystal Lake, and sort of what happens when a sleeping giant is woken up and now comes to collect. And so, it's about, as much as it is a sequel to Never Hike Alone, the first film about Jason still pursuing Kyle MacLeod for escaping and sort of ruining his peace. There is the continued story of Tommy. Tommy showing up at the end of the first Never Hike Alone was a real surprise for people. And it's like, what was he doing there? And Never Hike Alone 2 and Never Hike in the Snow are really an effort to explain where Tommy has been all these years, where Jason has been all these years, where the town has been all these years, and sort of wrap up Friday the 13th from the perspective of the Paramount series in a nice little bow that I think fans would have rather have had than a Jason Goes to Hell or a Jason X or, any of the other things that kind of came along that didn't necessarily satisfy a majority of fans, me being included, as far as like a definitive ending to the series. And I wanted to, as a fan, try to pen something that was a little bit easier to swallow and something that falls within the guidelines of what we watched over those years, from when the first film came out in 1980 to, when Part 8 was coming out, and sort of to and Friday the 13th was sort of already in mid tailspin, you know what I mean? But at least that character of Jason sort of had the same character, especially, he became, more of a rise from the dead type, creature in the later films. But, technically the first 3 films that he appears in, he has risen from the dead and returned and is killing people over the 3 days and just keeps getting up because he's fresh and he just keeps going. And it takes, 3 mortal wounds to put him down before, and even then he tries to get back up and Tommy has to start chopping him again. So it's, I think that we really wanted to sort of pay homage to where Jason came from, the sort of evolution of his character, the way he became that monster in the 80s, the big budget sort of pop culture Jason that we really know and love, but that it grew out of this simple story of a mother who lost her son and the rage and the loneliness that kind of festered this death curse around Crystal Lake that hasn't gone away and infects everyone who lives in town. So we want to tell this really kind of story that, I hate using the word, but elevates Friday the 13th from just like, okay, here's a formula, here's how it works. Just doesn't matter. Just have people show up, they die, there's boobs, and then someone dies, and just repeat, rinse and repeat until there's only one left, and they kill Jason and start the next movie. And like it, I want to keep fans guessing, and I want to keep fans entertained, and I want to tell a good story. And that's, to me, what we have accomplished with Never Hike Alone 2, and I'm really excited for fans to see it.
Which is next Friday.
Next Friday, yeah, Friday the 13th of October, which is the 6-year anniversary of the release of the first film, and the 3-year anniversary since we released Never Hike in the Snow, which was also released on Thursday the 13th in October in 2020.
Nice. So what time is it though, and where?
It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be at the Womp Stomp Films YouTube channel. We're going to be releasing it late in the evening Eastern Standard Time, so somewhere between 9 and 10 p.m. We're trying to coordinate it with the scheduled screenings that we have that night. We have one in Telluride Horror Show, which is the official world premiere of Never Hike Alone 2. So anyone who's, I know you guys are overseas right now, but anyone in the States, in Colorado or around that surrounding area, we're doing a screening there. In Iowa, they're doing a screening with Tom Matthews. They're doing a double screening with the Ghost Cut and Never Hike Alone 2 over Friday and Saturday, with Tom being there doing Q&As. There's one in Rochester, New York. We have screenings in Salem, Massachusetts at the end of the month, Salina, Kansas. Lots of really great options, and there's more kind of popping up along the way. So anyone who has either backed the Indiegogo campaign or wants to back the Indiegogo campaign, which is still live. We've moved into home video mode. So right now you can still pre-order Blu-rays. You can order lots of really great stuff. But if you sign up, you'll get signed up for the newsletter that we send every month that will tell you where all the screenings are. And we want to take it around the world. In fact, I really want to get to the UK. Never Hike in the Snow was supposed to screen in the UK, and we had to cancel the screening. So thank you for putting that out there.
It's in the link there and in the description if anyone wants to get it.
Yeah. And so so long story short, it's it's been a long labor of love, and I'm just excited for fans to see it and be a part of it. So we're doing all those screenings and things like that. So around 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be posting all about that on our social media pages at Womp Stomp Films, WOMPSTOMPFILMS. Just follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitter, Snapchat, I don't know, everything, TikTok, all the fun stuff. We post about it, basically once a day, just to remind people that it's coming. And then afterwards, it's going to stream for free online for the Womp Stomp Films YouTube channel till the end of time, or till they shut down YouTube, and you can pre-order Blu-rays, which is my suggestion, just because it helps support the film. But also, if anything ever were to happen, or the films were ever to be taken down, you can at least have a hard copy of it. And on the hard copies, we do behind the scenes interviews, commentary tracks. You see things that, we just don't really put on the YouTube because, or when we do, we wait a long time. You're going to have private access to it, and a lot of really good things. We have a first edition Blu-ray, which is a blue cover, which has the artwork of the gang heading into camp for the final battle with Jason. It signifies the Act 3 kind of big finale. And then this one that you see right now, that's called the Jarvis versus Jason edition. And one thing that we've recently changed about it is that we have gotten confirmation, and we're gonna get red cases for that. So it's a little bit more for the Jarvis versus Jason edition. We're only going to print 1,300 copies. We've already sold about a few hundred to a handful, 100, 300, 400. I'd like to sell them all out. They will only be printed once. They will have specific hand numbered cards that you're going to have signed by myself and Tom Matthews. And if we raise enough money with the campaign and we reach another stretch goal, our goal is to make it a dual Blu-ray case and include the Ghost Cut with a new cover on the Ghost Cut, which is the more red style, so it matches everything. And so you could literally watch the Ghost Cut and Never Hike Alone 2 and have the entire Never Hike Alone saga played out for you in one fell swoop in an afternoon in one case. So definitely something we want to push to. Like, we want to keep pushing the thing. I think we'll probably land between $350,000 and $400,000 at the end of it to do all of the fulfillments and post-production and all that fun stuff that we're going to do. And then next year we're going to look at doing a big master cut of the film, which I'm really excited. But for now, we want to deliver the ending that we promised everyone many years ago, and it's finally here. So we hope people enjoy it.
So could you not take that money, go to Vegas, put it all on black, and then fund the next few
Oh
films.
My God. Yeah, that would be something. So, Vin, how'd you blow all your Indiegogo money? Well, I tried to double it, and I did the opposite.
So there's the cast. Now,
yeah, we have Tom Matthews back, Vinny Guastafaro from Friday the 13th, Part 6, who was also in Never Hike in the Snow. Myself as Jason, along with my stunt double, Brian Forrest, who does a lot of work. Anna Campbell is back from Snow. And, of course, Angel Lady's back for Never Hike Alone 1. And we've also added Douglas Tate from Freddy vs. Jason as one of the deputies in the film. And maybe there may be a few more surprises because we're kind of known for that, right? So I think people should tune in and see what we have conjured for this Friday the 13th next week. Always on red. Red like the chevron.
Yeah, so, well, yeah, there's no blue. So hang on, make catch up. Yeah. So good evening. Playing Down Under, who's from Australia.
Cool. We have a lot of fans in Australia, actually. I would say that one of the top backers about as far as countries, UK is definitely right up there. I think it's the second, and then Australia is either right behind Canada or right in front of Canada. And you guys are expensive to ship to, too.
Yes.
Oh my God, Australia! What's going on down there?
I know it's the same planet, right?
I know. Oh my God, all the international funding is crazy. It's real, and honestly, like it sucks because I have to pass that on to the backers because we have to charge a lot of money for. So I finally get to apologize I'm sorry. It's the postage companies. They're like, oh, you want to ship this little piece of paper, huh? Well, that's $25. And you're like, what? I'm like, it cost me like what? Oh my God.
Yeah, the plane's going there anyway. How much can it cost?
Oh, totally. You know, it's just I don't know.
Don't get me started. Know what you're doing.
Me and you too. If I ever, hey, help me make a screening. Actually, I may be able to do a screening in New Zealand. I know it's not the same place. I'm not saying that. It's close at least. Our art director is from New Zealand, and he wants to host a screening down there. Bill Hunt, who was an effects artist on Jason Goes to Hell. So
it's all connected.
Yeah, he's a really good guy. He's been really helpful over the years. I love that man.
If I can control my mouse. Yeah, sure you're a better Michael than the one in H2. Oh, bless. Was it Christopher Durand?
No, it's just the masks in that movie they change every scene, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I think was it 4 in that one. There's 3 in Halloween 4, isn't there? And then okay. Yeah, I don't think any boobs in yours.
No, we're on YouTube. We're on YouTube when we have too many fans that are kids. And I don't want to get banned on YouTube. And I honestly think we're going to get mature rating pretty fast, just because of the gore. And there's a lot of gun violence, but not like people are getting shot. Only Jason's getting shot, and he's a monster. So I don't know.
Yeah, he deserves it.
YouTube's so fickle now; it's so weak. Like Never Hike Alone survived the cut, but every single fan film or horror film I've seen released on YouTube since I want to say last year has gotten flagged, and it's sort of sad because they don't need to be. And as soon as they get flagged for the mature rating and they go behind the paywall, it's over. Yeah. It's like over. You got to sign in and all that stuff. It's like, nah, come on. Better off just reloading.
See, to be completely honest, his dreams to make a Friday the 13th, and you made 3 already and produced 4 or 5 or another 4. Was it a 5?
Yeah, I mean, and James hit me up the other day about Jason Rising 2, or at least he mentioned it. And I'm like, wait, you're still on that? All right, like, okay, we have big plans for that. And then that was cool. We got to work with Adrian King. We got to work with Amy Steele. They came in and did cameos at the end of that film, which was really cool. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, I would just say go find people in your area who want to make a film. If you're a cosplayer, or if you know a cosplayer, that's where it starts. You need to start with a good costume. Yeah, every Friday the 13th really starts with what is the Jason like? You know what I mean? And then it sort of makes its way from there. So if you start with a good Jason and then you get a decent camera and you get some people who know what they're doing, and you have a passion for filmmaking, just go out with your friends on the weekend, get in the woods. It's not hard to put a one-on-one sequence. I mean, for me, the original Never Hike Alone. Oh no, okay, you're going back. I was like, what, did I freeze again? No. The original Never Hike Alone concept was really about one person who may or may not escape Jason. And how could you make that interesting? And it was working with the resources. with those limited resources. And
there we go. He's gone. He'll be back in a minute. I'll just get into the chat until he comes back. That is true, but I can't say it on here. But yeah, the slightest thing has upset them. My latest video got demonetized because of it doesn't even tell you. It just says it's just me talking about horror videos. Don't get me started. Okay. Good evening, Pat Master. Do spook comedy like he's trying on people he's killed clothing. Well, he's got to get it from somewhere. Oh, Sean's had to leave. Oh, he gets back. Hang on. Oh, he's jumped rooms. Look.
Yeah, I just like Jason. I ditched the mic, so I'm sorry if my audio quality is, but my signal should be much better.
Okay. Yeah. Fine.
Yeah, that should be better. So where was I? Where did I get cut off?
Something about Never Hike Alone, I think it was.
Oh, just saying, if you wanted to pursue your own fan film, just start small. I mean, like it can just be a cosplayer and one person. Figure out how to do an effect and figure out how to sell it, and then it just starts from there. It really becomes about the friendships you make through that, the people that you want to keep showing up with every single weekend and saying, what are we going to do this weekend? How are we going to add to it? How are we going to make it bigger? And they're going to go down that journey with you. And the thing with filmmaking in general, not just fan films, is that you got to put the time into it. Like it's going to take time. It's going to take time to get good. It's going to take time to put it together. It's going to take time to learn and to find everybody that you need to make it happen. There's a lot of things that go into filmmaking, and a lot of it can be self-taught. And there's a lot of tutorials online. But it all, I started from the ground up in like 2013 with a photo shoot, and 10 years later, I'm on my third film, completing an epic grand story with people from the actual franchise.
Yeah.
So definitely a long way since that first trip. And I actually saw a photo from that trip of the other day, and it really blew my mind, and it made me think about like, wow, like it's been that long. And I remember that day being at the lake that inspired me to write the story. And
nice.
I don't know, it's a really cool feeling because it started with that. It started with just those things. So if you invest that time and you're okay with taking the time to do it, 2, 3, 5, 10 years later, you'll be looking back and you will be way further ahead than when you started. So I would just say, just get started as soon as you can and do the best you can, and don't give up.
Okay, very well. Because how did you get Tom in the first one? Was that planned from the start, or is it an idea that someone says, I know Tom, let's ask him?
It was sort of like that. An executive producer came on, and a friend of a friend knew Tom, and as a gift to them was getting them on a sort of one-on-one dinner date with Tom, as far as hey, I want to go and meet my hero and stuff like that. And during that meeting, his name was Barry. He asked Tom if he wanted to see some of the footage from Never Hike Alone 1 and if he considered doing a cameo. At first, Tom was like really hesitant, and then he saw the footage and he went, I might give this a shot. I got to meet with Tom. I kind of explained what I was thinking about doing, the ambulance scene, having him be like this one final cameo. He only has to come out one day. He doesn't have to spend time. And he bought into it. And he bought into the fact that he would be the cherry on top. We wouldn't tell anybody about him. And it worked in our favor. And, we've been friends ever since. And we've worked on now 3 movies together. And we want to work on more movies together. And he's always pitching me stuff and sending me scripts. And, we're narrowing in on the things that we want to do and how we want to do it. We just got to finish this last little climb with Never Hike Alone 2, and we're on to the next project.
Yeah. So is it all in the can, ready to go? Just all done?
No, I'm actually right now I'm waiting for the final color pass to be sent to me. I have to do a color review. Final color and VFX review is today.
Mm-hmm.
Then I give my notes, and then that goes into the can. The score is being wrapped up today. They're actually recording live instruments today. And that goes off to the mix. We mix and composite over the weekend. We export on Sunday or Monday. Takes like 6 hours to get the movie out. Then we got to watch it. And then we got to make sure it's not broken. And then we got to upload it to DCP. And then and then I'll start kind of spreading around. But one thing I can say, and we did say on the thing, is on Tuesday, the 10th, we're going to be releasing an official trailer. which is going to be really cool. We weren't originally going to do anything, and then our friends at Ronin, a post company, came in and said they'd help us with the marketing, and they cut together this fantastic. All I can really call it is like a recap. Everything I told you before about how Jason is this Never Hike Alone story is sort of a branch of the Paramount era. We sort of just framed an entire trailer around that. And it's this beautiful story of how Friday the 13th came together and where Never Hike Alone stands in the timeline.
So that's
we'll never forget uncut Serbian film being on
I know. Oh, there's a fan film for you, a sequel to that.
Yeah, right.
Something about a barge pole, he says.
Nudity does get through the cracks sometimes. In fact,
it does. There's plenty of horror films and adult comedies.
Never Hike Alone 1 has a little flash because we show a little bit of the magazine, and that was the way I got around it in the first one.
Right.
It's really quick. You know what I mean? I don't know. That just wasn't the aim I was going for. And
it's not worth the risk, is it?
It would have liked to spend a different tone. Once I get into the theater, we'll see what we can do. And once I have more money to play with, I actually pay an actress to take her clothes off. Probably throw some butts in there too. So
butts.
Yeah, and this is right. What you're looking at right now is a breakdown of where we got to by the time October rolled around. Just so we're very transparent about how the funds get distributed through the different things, the production, the post production, and then the fees that we pay and that we have to do the perk fulfillment as well. So people will see a number online and they don't realize that we basically just say goodbye to 2 or 3 short films worth of a budget. And fees. Like I could make 3 or 4 films with that money, but short films. But it's just sort of like the price we pay to raise the money to do what we want to do. Boobs decapitation. Man, Australia, you guys are horny down there.
Well, I think it's trying to say that boobs, you can show as many decapitations as you like. But yeah, you show a side boob, you're in trouble on YouTube anyway.
He's teaching people how to shave. Oh my god!
How dare they? Oh, I don't know who this person is. He's hijacked my chat.
It's all good. It's funny.
So, if you've done a Freddy film, a Jason film, and Halloween films, is there anyone else that you would?
I mean, I'd love to be associated with a Texas Chainsaw film. Texas Chainsaw was one of the first movies that I kind of wanted to do. Originally, I had an idea to do the Never series, which was like never sleep alone, never drive alone, never walk home alone, like all these different things. But they were all tied into. Never Walk Home Alone was about Halloween. Never Drive Alone was about Texas Chainsaw. Never Sleep Alone was about Nightmare on Elm Street. And there were all these sort of like twists and turns on those films that we loved, and they were all told from this perspective of one victim. That way we could do them in really tight packages. And I never really developed that further, but the other one that I haven't, but I got to touch them in different ways. Like I got to do Dylan's New Nightmare. I got to work on a few Never Walk Home Alones. You know what I mean? With that, and then with Texas Chainsaw, I've seen a few pop up, but I don't know. I kind of have like a little story in mind I would love to do. I would love to do a First Blood story. I'd love to redo the book. That would be a big budget thing. I'd love to do some Predator stuff. I love Predator. I would love to do RoboCop. That would be a fun one to do. A RoboCop fan film would be pretty badass. So I don't know. There's lots of things that I think I would love to do. I would also like to play with those things at the professional level too, and approach these films and be able to go at them with multi-million-dollar budgets and design big action sequences and all those things. Here you're getting a good look at all of the perks that are going to be available through the home video campaign that we're going to keep going. A lot of the same stuff is there. We've added new posters, a lot of the same pins, shirts. We've got a new round of VHS tapes. We have our Ghost Jason, our 8-inch Ghost Jason dolls, which are really rad. And there's going to be more stuff that's released after the film, because there's certain levels, like there were certain producer levels that nobody backed at. And so those perks, those screen use items that were set for those levels are going to be made available for straight purchase for the public. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of stuff there. And then there's also some other new stuff that we haven't revealed about the movie that's going to dictate a couple new things getting released as well.
Nice. So there's something very familiar about this red Blu-ray cover, though. Where have I seen that before?
We did do it on the first one, the first edition for Never Hike Alone 1. Our first one was a DVD Blu-ray combo, a red case, and you can look them up. It has the black cover. If you look them up on eBay, they're like, people are paying. I've seen them go as high as $300, but they usually sell for around $150. The last time I checked.
Okay,
but it was pretty crazy, and they're rare. There's only 1,750 of those were made, so that's why we're doing it with that one. Is that we're saying 1,300. The value of it collectible wise for those who are into collecting home video and Blu-ray and things like that, the value of these discs skyrockets. Just look them up on eBay.
So buy 2 or 3.
Exactly. I usually tell people like, they're like Bitcoins. Like you got to kind of invest in them. And then, we've had people like, I've had different people who run little like mom and pop horror shops that they say, hey, can I buy 10? And they sell them out of the shop. You know what I mean? And I don't mind. Like, that's kind of cool. It's just helping it spread. And I think that's the kind of thing of this. It's spreading the word. It's great to buy as a gift for somebody.
Christmas is coming.
You can't get anywhere else. So it's really, really cool.
It's plenty of. Yeah, you buy 2, it pays for itself. Sell the second one. You buy 3, you're making money. So.
Yeah, Franz, I would only do First Blood as the book to make it more even and bloody. Just like in the actual book, Rambo really goes nuts. Like he loses his mind. He goes into like straight kill. Oh yeah, look at the book. It's one of my favorite books. It's one of my favorite reads. I love sort of like the mental sort of like just sort of ramping down of the characters, not letting up and going after each other and really playing it up that both sides sort of are right. That's what makes the book so interesting, is that neither side is wrong. Each person is sort of justified, but it's going to take one of them to back down. And that's sort of what keeps that conflict going. And I sort of borrowed that for Never Hike Alone 2 and the Never Hike series, for the fact that because Tommy and Rick don't get along, they keep butting heads. Them not working together is a big reason why Jason has been able to exist and not be found, because law enforcement is so focused on the wrong thing that they don't see the truth right in front of their eyes, because it's an emotional and personal hatred of somebody who they deem responsible for the death of one of their best friends. So it becomes, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we try to really sort of like pay homage to Friday the 13th in a way that these characters didn't just like show up in existence for one movie and then poof out of existence after they died, that they were real people that had lasting legacies. And the deaths of characters have lasting impacts on the characters that survive. And that is, I think, a cool concept when you approach a slasher film, not just to treat everybody as cannon fodder, but as it goes on, sort of bring that personal nature to it.
Okay. Lovely.
Jane Rambo. Yeah.
If Hollywood makes it, yeah.
No,
so they've got the picture of the cast and crew. Was filming just a week?
No, that was just from a week of filming. So that was the crew that we had for the week that we were up in the actual campgrounds. Filming took place all over the summer of 2023. We filmed in April, May, June, July, and in August. We had to split up the production in a way that we really didn't want to, but there was a state of emergency in the mountains that kept us from filming in April. So we had to split up this week that's pictured there, and then the week that we did at the actual hospital and the hospital set that we shot in. And it really kind of blew a lot of things schedule-wise for us, but we just had to recover and do the best we could.
Nice. Well, proof for next week will be out. So Mayan's here. Sign your, I don't think Friday the 13th. Sign her up. So yep, sign up to this then.
Check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
If it's anything like the other ones, yeah.
Although,
when has a third film ever been a problem?
Yeah.
In a franchise.
I know. Yeah. Once they find out that Jason's actually not in it, and he's been that would just be
yeah. You'd be in trouble.
I would be answering a lot of angry letters, and they would have to write rest of my inbox too, because
I'll track you down by your IP address.
No, you can't. We gave you all this money.
Yeah. So the link is in the chat again. There you go. If you want to check it out, people. So someone obviously sounded like they were having far too much fun making this film, because you are producer, actor, director. Anything else? And some writing, I guess.
Yeah, I wrote and directed it, produced it. You play Jason in it, and then we all share, different roles on set, things we do. But I have a great team. I'm surrounded by a ton of talented people who all, gave it their all throughout production, and I'm just really proud of everyone's efforts. From everyone who was like a volunteer, all the way through the people who were, were paid crew that are professionals who took time off from bigger paying jobs to be with us. It was a fun collaborative effort, and I try to delegate as many things as possible. But this story is really one that I've been passionate to tell for a long time. Usually I would go find a writer to help me with it, but this one I just sort of knew and I just ran with it. And, it's probably one of the best things I've written up till now. I feel really good about it. All the actors were really complimentary. So now it's just about our execution of it and what the fans think.
Yeah. And we can find out in 8 days. Bloody hell, that's not long.
I know it's really, it's just, we always knew it was going to be down to the wire. It was that one of the things with the delay, because we got delayed. Our original plan was to be done editing in June, July.
Okay. Oh, right.
And then be in post through August, and then be done in September, and then like sit back and sip on some margaritas and just like, wait for Friday the 13th. But again, here we are at the deadline, just like, oh my God, like, all right, we got to make it. All right, what's the next thing we got to do? But everything's like, it's like a Power Ranger. All the pieces are coming together. So
yeah,
we'll have our Voltron pretty soon.
How hard could it be? Take an iPhone into the woods, 10 minutes, you're done.
I know, right? Yeah, it's just so easy. Just hold the camera.
So, for the new people that were in your crew and stuff like actors, how is it? Weird, is it? If you're standing there as Jason, coming like 1 minute you're coming at them with an axe or something, and the next minute they say cut, next, print.
I don't know. Everybody just sort of like know by now. A lot of people just sort of know me in that way. A lot of the people who are associated with the film have been associated with the film for a long time. They've helped me in some way. They've been around me when I've been in costume at conventions, or just have helped out on set. But even back in the day, there was sort of like this real sort of like, people used to see the switch. It would be director Vinny to Jason Vinny. And all of a sudden, like, the mask would come up, and I'd be like, okay, bro, the camera's going to go there. Bro, ready? Cool. And like, and everyone's like, oh, shit. And I remember Andrew, who plays Kyle, would always like tell the funniest stories about the switch up, and he'd be like, all of a sudden, then he's trying to kill me. So it's a lot of fun. For me, there is a switch. It's sort of like the mask comes down. And because I have silicone appliances on my hand, I have a silicone appliance on my head, and then the mask comes over, I really feel like I'm in an encapsulated suit that you can't see anything about me. Everything that I'm doing is articulated and is now my voice. I have to act with my body. And it's a lot of fun. And I just feel the presence take over. And I feel that sort of like mindset. I really worked on that. Right. And that shift into it is just so much fun, and getting pumped up, and then just carrying out with whatever we can just to do the character justice. That's really that's all I can do, is just do my best to make the fans proud, right, because that's what they paid us to do.
Nice. Well, it's worked so far from what I've seen. So everything's on track for next Friday on YouTube. Still time to go through all the helping out, the perks, getting your copies and everything on the link in the chat.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna if you want a Blu-ray, you're definitely gonna want to order it early. They are region free, so you can watch them around the world. We've never had a complaint. I think we had one Blu-ray disc that didn't work, and I just sent a new one, and it was just something wrong with that disc. So they play around the world, and we got already a laundry list of people who want their Blu-rays. So it's better to get on it earlier than later, because it's going to take me a month or two to get all these things out. It's going to take some time.
You've got a load of packing to do after the film comes out.
It is. That's part of the journey. It's like I get to make this movie, but afterwards, I got a price to pay. It's sitting in front of my computer with 2,000, something orders, or 2,000 backers that made 4,000 orders that, okay, say Mayanne came in and bought something today, and then in a couple of weeks saw something new that we purchased and purchased that. We combine everybody's stuff and we send it out as one shipment. So, a lot of people come back and buy different things over periods of time. We also do secret perks, which if you look at everything we have on our list, like you look at that big sort of graph and you look at what we have in perks and you say, I kind of want just this, this, and this. If you email me and say what you want and you list it out, I will price that out and I will send you a secret perk custom built for you. That's just the way it works. It's a really great way for people to get exactly what they want without having, too much hassle. And then it goes into our totals. And, once the product is ready, we just start shipping. And we've done, I want to say 12 campaigns now. So we've got a pretty good system and it's getting better and better with each campaign. And I'm really proud of, we make all these films, but I got to tell you, man, our shipping spreadsheet is dynamite.
Nice.
That thing is so well oiled, and I'm going to start moving everyone to it soon. And that it's really going to streamline the process. And by the time we're ready to start shipping, it's just I'm going to be on Google Sheets rather than Indiegogo, and it's going to make my life a lot easier.
Nice. Okay. No problems. So yeah, links in the description, links in the chat. Check it out. Any one last word from you, sir, about the film? It's awesome.
Yeah, I just hope the fans enjoy it. The reason why I make these films is because I want to give fans a reason to smile on Friday the 13th. As fans of the official franchise, we don't get much from them, if anything. You know what I mean? Like, when was the last time we got a movie in the theater? How many have been canceled since 2009? The lawsuit, the writer's strike, pushing back the TV show. Hey, it's Friday the 13th, and instead of having to go back through the movies we've watched a million times, and we love them, but it's nice to have something a little bit fresh. So, it's not only about sort of you watching it and supporting the film, it's about you watching, supporting the film, and then finding that Friday the 13th or that horror fan who would also love it and telling them about it. And it's the word of mouth. So any help that anyone can give us as far as spreading the word about the film, and just helping us, with our marketing and sharing things on our social media pages goes a long way. And this film has been, we started with 277 backers back in 2016. This one, we have 2,770 backers. That's how far we're coming along. And that's all by word of mouth. And it's all by people talking about it. So definitely tell your friends and family, and we'd love to have you on. And thank you, Pat. And we'll, and next year we're going to have some good stuff too. And we're going to have some original stuff coming out as well next year. And that will give everybody an opportunity who's just discovering us now to start getting on projects, getting their names on our projects. And our original projects are going to be really, really cool. So definitely stick around for those as well. But for now, it's all about Friday the 13th. And I'm happy to be. Thanks for having me on here.
No, thanks for joining me. Well, I'll keep promoting on my stuff and get people going. So the first movie is still on YouTube, isn't it? It hasn't been taken off.
The first one is still on YouTube.
Check out Womp Stomp channel.
Yeah. There's three options that you can actually do. There is watching the first film and then watching Never Hike in the Snow after it, which Never Hike in the Snow is a prequel. We also created something called the Ghost Cut, which takes everything that we've ever created, including a music video called Disappear that's related to the Never Hike Alone world, and puts everything in chronological order starting in about 2004. It starts with a little kind of prequel about a little kind of montage prequel about the camp back in 1979, but we pick it up sort of after a time where technically Friday the 13th goes from 1979 to 1998 if you follow the timeline, it leaves off around 1998 or 2000, depending on who you listen to. That we try to pick it up in 2004 to say, like, okay, there was a gap between this and Manhattan, and we're picking up from here. But it puts our films in order, and you watch them kind of grow from there. If you watch that right before Never Hike Alone 2, you will be caught right up. You like that. The Ghost Cut has bonus footage. It has a bonus voiceover by Tom Matthews, and it has a little sneak preview of Never Hike Alone 2 at the end of a line that I ended up changing, but you're gonna be well prepped, and you'll be all caught up as far as like Never Hike Alone goes. And then obviously come back to the page on the 10th. We're gonna have our trailer. That trailer is going to have a lot of really fun nostalgic memories in it, and then it's going to end with brand new footage that you haven't seen yet for Never Hike Alone 2, and including a very prominent spoilery image that's going to be really cool. I think, and get a lot of people talking.
Nice. Right, great. We'll wrap this up. So thanks for Vincent for joining me. It's been very interesting, getting us pumped for next Friday. So thanks everyone. And yeah, links are everywhere, and I will be continuing to spam you with it. So there we go. Right.
Just one thing before I go, because did you see that? Just ask.
Oh yeah.
If you go to the Womp Stomp film page and you look up the Ghost Files, the very first episode of the Ghost Files will explain all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of answers about what Never Hike Alone is and all that fun stuff on the YouTube channel. So definitely check that out.
Yep. There we go. Nice.
Thanks,
all right. Take care, everyone. Next time. Good night.